Another daily marathon with the same car, but with more refined settings. Settings I came to testing at my usual test track, what is it, Lago Maggiore or something. And I had some difficulties because of the ride height limitations, but I've got the car performing relatively decently without any aero upgrades, which it definitely needs. Onto the settings. I did not save the old settings, so I should have, just to compare the two, but these are the new settings. I maxed out the initial torque. That's the first thing I did, and the braking sensitivity. Most of the braking performance comes from the under tray. I noticed that having this at the minimum ride height, so this is where the ride height limitations come in, it's minimum at 100. So I could either raise the front to 100 to make it level, but I'd lose aero performance, or I can have the rake that I've chosen here, which is a compromise between too much rake and too much ride height. It oversteers a little bit more at 93 in the front, 93 millimeters, and it's just a fraction too much on throttle lift oversteer. And I don't want that. I want to have a more level under tray so that it doesn't oversteer when I come off the brakes and when I come off the throttle. And to compensate for the oversteer, I think this was at around 77, or not 77, but 2.77. I've raised it to, I did a varying range between 2.9 and I've ended up at 2.81. The rear not ride height, but the rear natural frequency is at the minimum of 2.2, which I would like less. The car has a lot of horsepower. It's not necessarily a drifty car, so I mean, if I wanted to slide around more, having a little bit more stiff in the rear would help sliding, so the car doesn't wobble as much. But having it at 2.2 with the minimum, it's still a little bit throttle sensitive. I mean, the horsepower would overcome the grip anyway in this car, but when rolling on throttle, it's still a little bit too throttle sensitive. Cambers, these are my generic cambers for wide tires, around 0.9, around 1 degree, and relatively narrow. These are wide front tires, but they're relatively narrow compared to the rear, and around 3 degrees is fine. That's what I always say for most of the camber settings for most cars in this game. Dampers is my usual damper settings, maxed out. I would like them stiffer, but this is the maximum setting, and then I like a little bit less in the rear. No mods, just a brake controller with the -4 forward brake bias. And transmission is normal, so I don't have to go into that. And that's it. On to the daily marathon. I'm going to drive relatively conserved, meaning braking early, lifting throttle early, lifting throttle for high-speed sections. My first gear. Can't see the gear indicator behind my wheel. I should easily be able to get into the, oh, don't just drive off the track. Already off the track. Let me restart that real quick, that's embarrassing. What I was going to say, that was due to that high horsepower understeer, having less rake in the under tray from before. Anyway, saying something, under driving the car, something like that. Oh yeah, I should easily get into the 7-minute and 8-second range, maybe 7-minute 9. So it's not understeering there at full throttle. The lift here, or at least a little bit of brake. It's understeering here. Brake real early for this turn. Just needs more downforce. Take some curb on this side, no curb here, a little bit of curb. So I noticed anything past 8,000 RPM is mostly for the straightaways. Brake a lot. Understeer on throttle. So even at these high-speed turns, it's really dangerous to take it over 8,000 RPMs. Especially at top end, at the high top end speed with lift here. Brake, a lot more stable on the brakes. Notice it didn't just dive into the corner when I lifted off the brakes either. I'm going to lift here, brake, and then get back on throttle through the dip. Rear end is pretty planted when it's not power oversteering. Fourth gear. Rev's so high I can go in second gear in some places I normally wouldn't. So I'm gonna take this in third though, just because I like the reduced torque of third gear on the exit. Oh, taking it a little bit wide. Still got some oversteer. Real early here. Still running it all the way to the curb. I think I still have to lift here. Let's find out. Oh yeah, I do. Well, anyway, recovered that without hitting the wall this time. So I need to lift there still. It just has too much push on throttle over the crest to stay flat out through that kink. Same with here. Is this flat out? No. Too much push on throttle. I'm gonna take it into sixth. It has a lot of torque still at this horsepower range. You lift here. Take this in fourth. Early throttle. Oh, almost taking it off track here. Just staying on throttle a fraction of a second too long down the straights, and it's easy to miss a brake point with this much horsepower, especially at the top end. It suddenly kicks on. Even though I know it's there, I just don't expect it every time. Really concentrating now. Curve is dangerous. Definitely have to lift here. Stay in fourth, brake early. There's more control in fourth gear even though there's not enough torque to climb the hill. Oh, don't want to pick up curb. Have to lift for these kinks. Usually I wouldn't have to. Again, that can be tuned out with the under tray rake, but the car just becomes unstable in a way I don't like. It's controllable, but I want it to be more stable. I ring the engine out all the way to 8.5, where all the horsepower is at. Says flat out. Yes, it is. Sketchy though, braking way early. So I can go faster. That's really slow. See if I can push it and keep it on the track. Lift over the crest, then brake. Nice and stable with that push on throttle. Still have to lift for this crest. Lots of scrub over crest. And it sticks. I do have the sport soft tires on still, but much more controllable than before. Still got to slow down and get back on throttle. Okay, take it wide here and then don't dip it in the grass on either end of the corner. Second gear in this car. Take this in third. Use the whole track. Wide on the apex. Miss, miss, miss. Relying on that ABS. Okay, I confirmed it last lap. I need to lift for this kink. That was one of the corners I lost all of my time at. Still got a lift here. I'm going to stay in fifth this time. No, I'm shifting. Probably could have stayed in fifth. Oh shoot! Didn't brake early enough. Missed the apex. Okay, let's see if I can brake in time here. And this is definitely second gear. Double apex. Not the usual way I take it. Dab the brake. It was dangerous dab. Wants to rotate. Oh, wide everywhere. Keep it in. Get on throttle. Still wants to push. Sometimes it's better to underdrive the apex and then optimize your braking and acceleration. And optimizing acceleration doesn't mean getting on throttle earlier, it means getting on throttle smoother, so you don't have to come back off throttle like that. Lift here, short shift. Lift throttle. Brake sometime, a little bit early, better than too late. Understeer into the kink, or not the kink, but the pocket. Stay in fourth. Lift, turn in, throttle out. I know I can brake later at the end of this straight, but I don't think I have the testicular fortitude to do it. Oh, barely making that turn. Oh, almost losing it on the brakes. And a little bit more, just for good measure, to get the driving marathon finished. I'm just going to cruise it. So that was a 707. That's probably my fastest with this car. And it still has more time. I didn't optimize every corner. I was braking early and throttling late for precision rather than outright speed. And not every apex was taken at maximum speed either. Alright, that's long enough for good measure. That wasn't even my optimum. A 706.95 would be my optimum of this session. Let's just get a few glimpses of this car in action. So I don't know if this is one of those cars that has a smaller diameter front wheels than rear wheels. And that might be the reason why the ride height is restricted, because the rear wheel diameter is too big. Okay. And the marathon, 28.4 miles, is long enough. 3-star, not that great. Oh, I got the music on. Whoops. Supposed to turn that off. Well, hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. I'm not making money on the video, so it should be fine. Not that great of a choice. And that's what I usually get. This isn't even the smallest one. This is one step above the smallest one. That wasn't even in the options here. Yep. Till the next one.